If there's something salvageable there, taking it somewhere else, good. If not, in my opinion, it has to go. And we would really love to see this. It just would be a huge improvement. It might spark some kind of revival for all the rest of that part of Adams Boulevard, which we've been waiting. We moved in 1988. We've been there 31 years waiting for something to happen that would begin to get rid of the complete desolation of that part of the street. This is one of the first moves. The best we've had before that is the gas station that's still under construction at Adams and Normandy, which we fought for just to get that. It wasn't the most desirable thing, but it was better than empty property there where muggings took place. This is the first thing that actually is pretty and looks good and might make some improvement in our neighborhood. Thank you.
I will ask David Cook.
Sure.
Okay, if you could again state your name and address, please.
Hello, my name's David Cook. I'm a member of the Van Buren Block Club. Leslie pretty much covered all the details. I'm just here in support of the project. Obvious Dialogue is aesthetically a vast improvement on what we have. Again, it could trigger a sort of snowball aesthetic thing for that stretch of Adams, which is so deprived. And although my wife and I have only been there for 10 years, which is short compared to our neighbours, it is an eyesore, that whole stretch. And the lady who did the introduction has obviously been very thoughtful, relevant to the just aesthetically, consideration of the surrounding flavour of the place. And I think it would be a welcome improvement. And again, with the gas station being done and that being done, it's the beginning of some kind of hope for that stretch, which is potentially, we love the neighbourhood, and I think it would be, I give it a full 2 thumbs up. So thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask Fiona Cook?
Yeah, thank you.
Can you again state your name?
Yeah, my name's Fiona Cook. We've been there, my husband said, for about 10 years. We work really hard at restoring our homes in this neighbourhood. We're all for the HPOZ, heating integrity of our houses and our accompanying streets. However, Adams Boulevard, it's a disgrace. It's like we need some sort of like commercial, good buildings there and places for people to live, because it's all these we're like satellites, all with these beautiful homes. You go down to Adams and you just go, oh my God, it looks like a slum. And so this is something that can change that. And there have been little pockets in our neighbourhood of like little bits of hope. And this is like finally something that can really kind of regenerate the neighbourhood. And we're amazingly grateful to you for putting this together. I can't tell you how much we want it. And if you look at some of the houses on Western, like historical homes, not on Western, sorry, on Normandy, and they're like all falling down. And no one's going to do anything about those homes that are falling down, because the stuff around it is terrible. We live in these little streets that are beautiful, but the houses on the main streets, nothing is happening, because there's would you want a nice home with just desolate buildings? So we give it full thumbs up, and we really hope it goes through, and thank you.
And I have just one speaker card. Again, if anyone hasn't filled one out, so it's Thomas McKernan.
That's me.
The last speaker. And again, if anyone else wants to speak, please make sure to fill out the speaker card. Otherwise, you have the floor.
My name's Tom McKernan. I live in a place, I'm contiguous, I'm the closest home to this project. If you want to take a tape measure, my house is directly across from this. I'm going to be looking at this for the rest of my life. I love it. Okay, 2 thumbs up. My qualifications are, not that it matters for aesthetic purposes, I've been a real estate lawyer 45 years. I've sat on this HPOZ board for 10 years at its inception. I'm a member of the WAHA, and I'm also a member of Van Buren Place Historical Society. I've restored a home. I think historic homes are great. This is one that I would not want to restore. I think it's a this home and back of this lot is a disaster. It's a tear down. It's filled with homeless, rats, and trash, and it's been abandoned for the last 15 years. The idea that somebody would move in and fix it up and put lace curtains on it is ridiculous. Legally, it's a non-contributing structure. It's a non-contributing structure. We really have nothing to say other than the design. That's at least my interpretation of the HPOZ law. Since it's non-contributing and we're dealing with design, I think it's a perfectly fine design. I'll leave the HPOZ board to, call the strikes and balls, or the windows large enough, or the panes large enough. That's something that's really more within your purview in terms of design. But the bottom line, it's a non-contributing structure. Lastly, I heard an interesting statistic from our councilman. And in the city of Los Angeles, we add 2,000 homes a year, 2,000 units a year. Do you know how many we need in the city of Los Angeles just to keep even with growth? 10,000 units. The lack of units being built impacts, it creates homelessness, it creates all sorts of problems, and we see the brunt of it on Adams. So I would like to see more units being built. I think these units are fine. Whether it's 6 units or 7 units, it's R3, it's R4, I'll leave those details up to you, but I totally support this project. I think it's beautiful, it's a nice Spanish design, it fits well with some of the late 30s structures on the block. Could it be better? Sure. Move those, you guys call the strikes and balls on the thing, but as a whole, the project is wonderful, and I'd love to see that lot cleared and this project put in its place. Thank you.
Thank you. So that is the last speaker card that I received. Okay, so I'm gonna invite the applicant back. If there's any comments that you want to address that were raised by some of the speakers.
To the best of my knowledge, I'm going to talk about the allowable density calculation under C1 zone, which takes its density from R3, which allows 800 square feet. So if the lot area is 13,996.5 square feet, and the density is 800, we divide the lot area by 800, and that is 17.4 allowed units, which rounded down is 17 units max, and we're proposing 7. So 17 is allowed on site. And